Good evening, Kaja, Bryx, Racjonalista.tv. My guest today is Susan Gerbic from USA, probably the most known skeptic after James Randi. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Hi. It's so great to be here with you guys.
Thank you. I was wondering if you could start with explaining to us what a skeptic is, because I'm not sure if everyone understands the word in the same way. So what does it mean for you?
Okay, that's a great way of starting. So being a skeptic is a person who is questioning the beliefs that are made around them. They may be negative beliefs, they may be positive beliefs, but I believe that everyone is actually a skeptic. Just some people will profess it. I don't think you can become an adult and have a bank account and have good health unless you question the beliefs that are around you. We just believe that we follow the scientific method, and we feel that it's important to make sure that the claim that is being made, the evidence for it is equal to the claim. So if somebody says I can fly, that is something that's going to require a lot of evidence. But if somebody says I like cats, well, that won't be something I have to have a lot of evidence for.
Thank you. And you are known for defending skepticism, and especially for your project on Wikipedia, the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia. So could you tell us more about what this is actually about and how it all started?
Okay, so I was on a James Randi cruise back in 2010, and a person on the cruise suggested that it was important that we start editing Wikipedia as skeptics, making sure that the citations on Wikipedia were really valid, good citations, well-written pages. And I thought, that's really interesting. I had really not done anything in the skeptic community up until that time. I was a long-time conference attendee and decided that maybe this is something I should try to do. I'm a professional portrait photographer specializing in children, and I had no technical experience at all. I stumbled and made a lot of mistakes, and finally it kind of stuck with me. I'm self-taught. I started talking about it on Facebook, which was a pretty new thing at that time, and other people started joining and asking, what are you doing? And that was fun, and we self-taught each other. And then I was given a few opportunities to speak, and I had to come up with a name for it, and decided Guerrilla Skepticism was as good as anything. We were using it for a lot of different things at the time. I do a lot of investigations with other people that are psychic related. That's the people who claim to speak to the dead, with a professional psychic person, expert, Mark Edward, who will also be at the Congress, by the way. And we came up with the idea that Guerrilla Skepticism is a little more in your face kind of thing. So that's where it came from. In 2012, I decided that it was far too important to just focus on English, because at that time, all I was doing was trying to mentor, and I think it was more of an email group. And then in 2012, I had been trying to get other people to do what I was doing in English, but to do it in other languages. And that wasn't working. Nobody would take up the mantle and do it. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And so in 2012, we started recruiting people who were native speakers of other languages besides English. And it just took off. It's been amazing. I've met the most amazing people, and I have the most amazing people who are working with me. Every day I can't believe that I'm doing this. This is so much fun, and we're making a huge difference in the world, educating people.
So basically you are rewriting the Wikipedia pages, adding more scientific-based data, and removing the pseudoscience pages, or amending them somehow?
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. The other thing that we're really popular for is supporting the people who are actually doing the work. So we spend a lot of time working on the Wikipedia pages for the people who are the scientists, the organizations, the people who are doing the lectures, writing the books, that kind of thing. So we're supporting them. So when they're in the media's eye, they're going to get, the media is more likely to call on them whenever there's a claim of the paranormal. There's a lot of people on the front lines who are being attacked by the anti-vax community, the non-science-based medicine world. They are being, their jobs are at risk. And so we felt that it's really important to support them. We call it, in English, we say we have their backs. I don't know what it would be in Polish, but we've been doing a lot of that. That's kind of what we're more famous for. But we really try to focus on science, scientific skepticism, and the paranormal.
When I Googled your name, I found a lot of articles of unhappy people. Mainly, obviously, I've opened some blogs of astrologers and homeopaths and psychics who were claiming that you ruined the idea of Wikipedia, of the free speech, of the actual science, and so on and so on. I must say some of them are really funny.
Right. I haven't had that much criticism lately. Deepak Chopra, Rupert Sheldrake, those were some of the ones that were my biggest critics. They've kind of all gone away, which is fine. Let them concentrate on, they say that they're going to start their own Wikipedia. Well, good luck to that, One of the, another one that's a Polish-oriented one that we've received a lot of flack for was from the Burzynski Clinic. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Burzynski Clinic, but they are Polish, it's run by a Polish man, Stanislaw Burzynski, and he has been quite unhappy with the work we've done on combating the pseudoscience of the Burzynski Clinic.
Yeah, and do you actually have Polish speakers in your team?
I have one Polish speaker, and he's been amazing. His name is Adam. I really don't want to pronounce anything that I can't pronounce, but he's been incredible. And in the last few days, Adam has put out 11 Wikipedia pages in Polish, all centered around the people who are going to be speaking at the Congress. And also one of the pages, or two of the pages, are on, one is for the Congress, the European Skeptic. Let me look at make sure I have this right. One is for, where is he at over here? One is for the actual Congress, European Council of Skeptical Organizations, known as ECSO. So we have written that in English, we've written it in Italian, in German. It's also in Portuguese, Dutch, and it's in Polish just in the last few days. So he's been writing Wikipedia, rewriting Wikipedia pages, or I should say translating Wikipedia pages into Polish, so that whenever people go to the Congress, Polish speakers will be able to read about the speakers in Polish. I feel that that's really important to get to as many languages as possible. I badly need more editors in Polish as well as other languages such as Czech and everything. The people who come to us, they are going to need to have some understanding of English, because obviously I can't really train very well in languages other than English. They don't have to be perfect in it, but some level of English. They can always work with Adam, he can run it by them if they don't, to make sure the grammar is good and things like that. But to actually be a member of the GSoW, the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia, you're going to need to have some English skills, and we're fine with it not being perfect. My English skills aren't perfect either.
And how big is your team?
I think we've just added our 97th person.
Wow, that's great.
We've trained people over the years that have not stayed with the GSoW, but they're affiliated with it. One of my biggest goals is not necessarily to improve Wikipedia. I mean, obviously that's it, but I think it's all about the people. Many, many, many people have come through my fingers, and I hope have left or are off doing projects that they feel that inspire them, and moved on to other things. it's very exciting to see people grow. A lot of people come to the group that have never had anything to do with organized skepticism before. They learn about it for the first time on a podcast or a video interview or an article I've written, and just introducing them to people and giving them some really great feedback. Some stay with the GSoW, some, as I say, move on. It doesn't matter. I just want to motivate people to do more and to become better skeptics and grow.
That's really great. And I think that Wikipedia, being probably, well, the most important source of information for so many people around the world, is really a place where science should be visible and easily recognizable among other kinds of information which have no scientific basis. But isn't it really hard to, to make sure that all these pseudoscientific pages disappear, or at least are marked as requiring more data, etc. Because I suppose they keep rising. I mean, they keep writing new things all the time about astrology, homeopathy, etc.
Well, actually, it's not hard at all. The rules of Wikipedia are the rules of skepticism. You must have a valid claim if you want to make it stick. So we have more problems with people who are trolls, people who go in and vandalize pages to be funny, but it just takes a couple seconds to revert an edit that somebody has made. So we have almost no trouble whatsoever with the homeopaths, the astrologers. They very rarely go on Wikipedia, or if they do, they're thrown off pretty quickly when they don't make good edits. Mm-hmm. So they, as you saw when you were Googling my name, those are mostly from about 2013, and those are people who have pretty much abandoned Wikipedia and they're off doing something else, doing infomercials. So we really have very little problems with edits. We, once in a while, but mostly Wikipedia editors who are valid Wikipedia editors are there for the good of Wikipedia, and we have good discussions about why the citation is valid or not, and for the most part, we're really not having a lot of problems. It's more just keeping ourselves motivated, and training takes a while to train somebody. It takes me maybe 3 months to train somebody completely, but once they're trained, they're going to be a really, really good editor of Wikipedia in whatever language they're working in. So that's kind of just keeping motivated. There's a lot of cat videos to watch out there. There's a lot of distractions. So just staying on top of things is kind of the hard work. But keeping the articles in good shape, not so bad. Once they're written the way we train them, they stay pretty much written well.
That's great. That's really great. And do you have any people in your team who speak other than Indo-European languages, like Arabic, Chinese, Japanese?
Sadly, no. I have one editor who sort of speaks Chinese. He does speak Chinese Mandarin, but he doesn't edit in it very much. He's working on his PhD. Most of my editors are very busy people, and so getting them, we're volunteers, nobody's paid. So that's the trouble. I have one page written in Arabic, and we have several Spanish and Portuguese, obviously. Majority of people who join the GSoW are people who are hearing about us on podcasts and interviews like this. So we do attract mostly Europeans. I have a Bulgarian in training, I have a Swiss person in training, Romanian person in training, but I'm going to be doing a tour, obviously, coming to see you all in Poland. I am so excited about that, but I'm also going to be visiting and speaking in Oslo, in Copenhagen, in Germany, in Italy, and my goal is, I'm on tour, speaking of the different places. My goal is to recruit people everywhere I go, because we need everybody. Even if they don't speak a language other than English, I still badly need them. I shouldn't say I need them. The world needs them, the logical world. We have to have you to step up and help out, because we've written over 400 pages, but we need to be 4,000 pages. There's so much work to be done, and it's the formula that we're using, the way we're training, it's working. It's great. It's just we need more people.
Well, I do hope that you will find some people interested during the tour, so fingers crossed. And do you think that outside of Wikipedia, science requires being defended in various ways? Do you think it is under attack, or that the pseudoscience is not really that much present in the regular lives of people?
Wow, what a question. Well, I'm here in America, and our president right now is Donald Trump. So sorry. It's quite embarrassing at the moment. But I look at it like this. America and the world, when I was growing up, we were at war with Russia. I mean, we didn't know anything about that. I'm 54 years old, and that was a very scary thing. We thought we were in imminent disaster of being blown up by Russia at any moment. It was quite frightening. And we've come so far. Look, we're Skyping. Oh my gosh, you're in Poland, I'm in California, and some internet issues. We're talking for free. It's so incredible the way the world has changed. But when I was growing up, there was a lot of belief of how can we become united as the world. And I always thought it's going to take an alien invasion from another planet that's going to unite us. And I think now that Donald Trump and the administration that we have now and what's going on in the world is our alien invasion. It's going to take somebody attacking in a mass scale like this to finally get the science community to step up and come together, and for us to maybe stop the bickering and as much as we can and start supporting each other. So I think that it's going to get worse before it gets better, but I think in the long run we're going to see that we are going to come out of this stronger. And so that's kind of my opinion. I really am hopeful that it's going to be much better. Yeah, we're under attack, but I think that we're going to step up and we're going to make this right. And we're going to be a better, stronger world after this is done.
Well, I definitely do hope so as well. You mentioned that you work on psychics, on the phenomenon of psychics, the people who claim that they speak with the dead. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, I love it. I mean, each person in the skeptic world has, it's a large umbrella. It's just a method of thinking, scientific skepticism. So each person under that umbrella has different little areas that they really enjoy, maybe UFOs or cryptozoology. That's the study of, animals that don't exist necessarily, like the Loch Ness Monster or those kinds of things. So everybody has kind of a specialty, and mine is psychics. I call them grief vampires because they prey on people at the most vulnerable. And I love that. It's just my topic. I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of video watching, and I write a lot about the different psychics. I find them fascinating, and the rules that I use to evaluate their claims, the things they're doing, are, can be used across the board for people who are interested in UFOs or people who are interested in religion. It's all the same. It's just the same claims that the false, trying to think of the word, logical fallacies. It's the same everywhere. And it's the same for evaluating a claim of the paranormal is the same rules of skepticism you need to have if you're evaluating whether you should click on a phishing scheme that looks like it's a genuine email from your bank. You need to be able to evaluate that email just in the same way as you evaluate the claim of somebody saying that they can speak to their grandmother. It's all relative. These are skills that we all need to learn and to be able to make good decisions about our health, about money, about who we're going to let into our lives. It's all important.
And how popular are these services of the psychics in the US? How many people go there? Do you have any statistics?
Well, on Wikipedia, which is a really great way of looking at how popular something is, to be able to look at the stats of I guess you could call it fame, we can look at the views of pages. And I know that over time, the page views for psychics is actually dropping. The psychic I've been working on lately, you probably never would have heard of him. He's called Tyler Henry. And I got involved with him in 2016 when he just started out. His Wikipedia page has just about 1 million page views in a year and a half. So that's really not very many. I think that psychics are pretty much considered a joke, especially the ones that are more elaborate. I think we're making inroads, but a lot of people want to believe so badly in things that they're going to other venues. They say that religion is actually dropping, belief in religion in America. We're becoming a little more secular. I know it's hard to believe when you watch the news, but the media tends to give false balance to everything. For everything that they feel that there's something happened, they're going to have to try to find somebody else to try to counteract it, and it puts them on an equal footing. Wikipedia does not allow that. If you look at a Wikipedia page for the planet Earth, you will find no mention on there about the flat Earth. If you look at the landing on the moon Wikipedia page, you won't find anything about hoaxes and how we didn't land on the moon. So the media tends to give false balance, whereas Wikipedia doesn't. It's real important that we have these pages well written for people to find. And I think that psychics, though they seem to be pretty prominent, I think that we're starting to see a drop. It's, like I said, it's becoming a joke. But the people who do believe, they sure do seem to be pretty loud, and it just feels like they're more active than they are.
Or is it possible that they are not using internet that much?
Oh no, they're embracing the immigrant. They're embracing the internet. They're using it in a lot of ways. I've done some stings. That's investigations where we're trying to catch a psychic doing something, and I'm using social media to do that. I just did one using Facebook, and the man was on stage reading the Facebook pages that we had put up for him to find, and they were fake Facebook pages. They weren't. I didn't even know what was on the Facebook pages, and that's a story that's going to be coming out in the next few months. We call it Operation Pizza Roll. So if anybody's interested in finding out more about me and the things I've done with grief vampires, just Google my name, Susan Gerbic, and then put in the word psychic, and you will get quite an eyeful of work I've done with other people as well on psychics. They're just absolutely my favorite. Who knows why?
Well, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about the situation in US right now. How much the things have changed for scientists and for skeptics in US since the presidential election? Because I've heard that the greenhouse effect has been denied, right? I mean, that the president doesn't believe, actually,
climate change?
Yes, in the climate changes. But I mean, apart from obviously what he says in his interviews or on TV, etc., has anything really happened? Anything changed in the legislation, or are you really expecting that some bad things will happen?
Wow, that's good question. Okay, so as I said before, I think that we're going to have to get it's going to have to get bad before it's going to get better, because we've had some I think that the community is starting to come together. Whenever the Trump administration started challenging the Climate Change Pact with the Paris Agreement, and there was a lot of speculation that we were going to get out of the pact and we were going to stop doing what we were doing, trying to combat climate change. The science community all over the world came together and they started downloading the information that we were keeping so that it would be not in the U.S. government plans. We went beyond governments to bond together and to make a difference, trying to gather the information. So I think the scientific community has done amazing things, like I said, coming over differences to really make sure that the data is still there. Also, a lot of the U.S. states are saying, we don't care if the Trump administration is going to stop having anything to do with the Paris Agreement. We're still going to enact the changes we're going to do. To be honest with you, America's opinion of Trump is really, really low. And I think that most people believe that this is just a temporary thing and that Trump won't be around much longer, maybe a year, if even that. And so I think we kind of look at him as just a joke, and that we don't want to put anything in place that is permanent because we know he'll be gone very soon. He's supposed to be around another 3 years, but 3.5 years, I don't think anybody really believes that he will be. It's been really an amazing time to watch politics. I love watching politics. It's been fascinating. Even in France, they said, send your scientists here, your climate change scientists here. We will support you. New Zealand, I believe, made the same offer. And America has become a laughing stock, but I think that the scientists as a whole are coming together. And one more thing, I just read an interesting article. They were talking about religion in America. And yes, we're losing numbers in a belief, but what's happening is people are starting to believe more in evolution. They're stopping the creationist, 6,000-year belief. They're starting to reconcile their religious beliefs with evolution, and that's a really good thing because it's showing that we're coming together, and we're gonna, people can still have their God beliefs, and but they're starting to understand that science is the consensus of science, and I think it's a really positive thing. So, yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. I don't know. I'm going to be going to Europe here in a few months, and I feel like I'm going to be apologizing.
Well, the situation in Poland is also not that good, so I don't think you have to feel very embarrassed. I think actually the whole world has, this is a kind of period when a lot of populistic governments are being formed, and well, maybe as you said, we need to go a little bit down and yeah, and but well, it's still good that the science community is reaching to each other from various countries and supporting, and let's hope that these ideas, these projects like March for Science and others will actually become more and more popular every year. In fact, we had one in Poland this year for the first time. It was very, very small, but maybe next year we can... just about 20 people.
Oh, but those are 20 inspired people.
Yes.
They're out doing their thing
so next year it's going to be much bigger for sure.
Well, I'm just happy to have people to do something, to come out from behind the, take their earphones off and go and do something. It's encouraging and it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a skeptic. It's an exciting time for science right now, and we're making some amazing discoveries. And I want to give one more point that a few years ago, gasoline prices in America were astronomical. They went up to $5 a gallon, which which means nothing to people in Poland probably, but normally gas prices were about $2.50. So they doubled price, and the world in America went nuts. People were so upset that gas prices went crazy. But what happened is people started making better decisions about driving the cars that they were driving, about the things that they were doing. They started walking more. Car manufacturers were forced to come out with cars that had better fuel efficiency, electric cars, better transportation. It took this horrible thing to happen that hit, obviously affected the poor more. So it was really awful to the people who really needed to get to their jobs, and they're paying this astronomical amount of money. But in the long run, I think these changes really shook people up, and they had to make decisions that changed. And I think that's what's happening with the Trump administration and what's happening with the attacks on science. We need to be shaken up. Scientists are in their laboratories doing the work that they're doing, and that's wonderful. I'd love to have them stay there. But this really made people go, wait a minute, we could lose this? Same with the healthcare crisis going on in America right now. People are stopping and they're saying, wait a minute, I could lose my healthcare? How am I going to live? How am I going to be able to take care of my mother and my father whose health is declining? And we need to be scared. We need to be shaken up. Same thing whenever we have outbreaks of diseases, measles outbreaks or whooping cough. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible to happen. But these things happen, and then laws get better, and people start taking it more seriously. So I don't know if it's a really good viewpoint to have, but I do feel like we're going to have these really, really bad times to make people wake up and say, I need to do something so that we can have better times.
Well, let's hope that's exactly what will happen. Well,
I like Trump as an alien from another planet. It makes me feel good.
Thank you, Susan, so much. It's been a great pleasure to talk to you, and I'm very excited about meeting you in person when you come to Poland in September.
This will be a lot of fun.
I'm quite sure, and I hope you will manage to find more people that will join your team and edit some really good pages in Wikipedia for all of us to learn more.
I really hope so. I'm looking forward to meeting you as well. I'm so excited to be going to Poland and Europe. I've been to England, and that's about it. I'm so happy. I've been reading on Wikipedia about the different cities I'm going to be visiting, and I've been reading a lot about the speakers that are going to be at the conference, because we're translating them and getting them into languages so other people can. I'm very interested in meeting you all too, and I hope people who are watching this, I'm totally approachable. Come and hang out with me. I want to meet you.
Thank you, Susan.